Showtime. All right. Thanks for coming back again tonight. We are the Three Wisecracks, and I am Bridget, and this is Jeff and John. And tonight, John is going to be taking it away. Here we go.
All right, so interesting story in the secular music world. There was an interview. Now everybody knows who Mary J. Blige is, correct?
Correct.
Um, yeah, doesn't she own Dolly World or something like that?
No, not that one. That's Dolly Parton. Um, Mary J. Blige, famous singer, been in the business for a while. Well, she recently sat down and did an interview. And Bridget, in the last session, you talked about marriage. Well, so did Mary J. Blige. And I wanted to get your opinion on this because it was, to me, very interesting. And especially when I started seeing reactions from a lot of women.
Okay.
She stated, because she's been through a lot of hurt, a lot of her music has shown her hurt and pain through relationships. She stated that her husband, as of right now, is not allowed to have female friends, and she, in turn, does not have male friends because technically she doesn't believe that it's healthy for the relationship for her husband to have female friends or for her to have male friends because it causes too many problems. Now, the way I was raised, what I saw my mom and my dad is the fact that you have to have respect,
Mm-hmm.
and that leads to trusting someone. And then
Okay.
love has always been what the Bible says is patient, kind, doesn't boast, doesn't brag, doesn't judge. So if you have all those things and you have a healthy relationship,
Mm-hmm.
there's never been a rule that you cannot have a female friend. But the funny thing, this interesting thing, is a lot of the when I posed the question earlier on Facebook and stuff, a lot of females are like, "Yeah, I love that rule. That's a rule. That's it." And I'm like, has a lot? I mean, I know I've been hurt in relationships.
Right.
Never tell anybody that I'm in a future relationship with or my wife, you cannot have a male friend because I even seen somebody say, the reason why I would trust my husband, I just wouldn't trust the women around him. And I'm like, well, if you trust your husband to close the door and keep it closed, why do you worry about any of the dogs running around outside?
Well, and that's a very true statement right there. John, you would trust your husband, but you don't trust the women. And as sad as that is about women, I remember I worked with a client. He worked at a car dealership, and I remember him telling me that this is just disgusting. He got more action. He got hit on more, and he got more action. Let's just say that way. When he had his wedding ring on, than when he didn't.
Mm.
And it just disgusts me. I have no problem with my husband having friends that are women. Um, Now that says a lot about my relationship with him. It all
Right.
depends. You have to have that. Then you shouldn't be married. Like, that's the way I feel. Then you shouldn't be married. But you also need to look at the the respect. Your husband should have enough respect to know what relationships with what women should remain and what relationships he needs to let go. Because there are
Exactly.
some that he knows, you know what, if there was one that she was in and it was similar to this, I wouldn't be comfortable with. So there
Now,
has to be that common courtesy, that respect, that I wouldn't like it, so I'm not going to do it to her. But, I mean, I have no problem with it. There is some times where, I'm not going to lie, there is that jealousy because we're very possessive and what's mine is mine. But you don't want to take away what makes them happy. And if it's a person that brings joy into their life, then you're going to want that person to stick around.
And
So,
remember, God said love is not jealousy. If there is jealousy in love, then it's not love.
is that how it's worded?
Not exactly, but it's really close. It's something.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Thanks.
Be a philosopher.
I
I don't
believe
know.
like this too. I think that some of the people that are saying that again, they've been hurt, and what a lot of people in relationships don't do, they don't take time after that hurt to heal, reflect, and then relearn how to love themselves and how to be respected. So therefore, they require a higher standard with the person that they're going to get involved with next. So therefore, they just got this constant wound that's open, and they keep paying it forward to the next person versus healing. And that's the hardest thing to do when you get hurt is to let yourself heal. I have done it. I've rushed back into stuff. Jeff, you were there. Uh, Man, it's easy to do. I've been hurt,
So
but
easy.
yeah, I can't penalize somebody else for what somebody else did to me. I think that's not fair.
Well,
And when
that's
you make
just it.
a rule, wow.
Well, and that's just it. When you start laying down rules, I mean, that's just not healthy. And I mean, like you said, I think we've all done that. And that's kind of what I did when I left. You know, I told you guys when I left and I went to Europe, and I retired. I left my job. I left for 2 months, and I took off, and I went to every church, and I prayed, and I gave myself time to get to know me again, and to get to know what I want and what I deserve, because I think all too often we just settle because we just want something so bad, but then while settling, we are picking at them, and so we're not making each other happy because we're not happy with them, but we want to be happy with them, so we're forcing them to be someone that they're not, and now they're not happy. So
Right.
until you can step back, and I was never a person to always be in a relationship, and I think that that's why I could try to figure it out here and there, but until I could actually do this, really take a step back. But there's people who jump, and when they break up, they're in a relationship the next day with someone else, and how are you ever going to know who you are by yourself until you can, have that opportunity to be by yourself? That's just my opinion. Jeff, where'd you go?
I'm still here. I just realized that somehow my charger wasn't plugged in, and all of a sudden I wasn't getting any juice, so I didn't want to disconnect.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's happened. Jeff, I'm interested in your opinion. So John and I have done a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta say that I'm fortunate enough to be married for 20 years, and I know, right? I wake up every morning. I go, oh my God, I'm still alive. This is good. This is good. She still loves me.
Oh, that's cute.
Realistically, I mean, I get where she's kind of coming from in a sense that my wife Sandy would not say to me, listen, you cannot be friends with, let's take Bridget, okay? You can't be friends with Bridget. She would never say that. However, if you're friends with a bunch of women, there's always that potential, and I think, John, you kind of referred to this, there's always that potential or that possibility of some of those women falling for you, not on purpose, they just do. And I think if you're friends with the right women, there's no potential of that happening. However, I've completely missed out on some of the signs that my wife has pointed out to me. She's like, you realize so-and-so likes you. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? Because women have that intuition. They have that sixth sense. And I'm like, no. And then a week or a month later, that so-and-so had said some things to me that it's like, oh, okay, my wife might be right. So I get where she's coming from, but realistically, you have to trust each other beyond anything. You really do, and you have to put your faith in each other and your faith in God too, and you have to be able to take a look at your situation and realize what is best for both of you. And when you're married for 20 years, you realize it's a give and take. What's going to make her feel comfortable? If she doesn't feel comfortable with me being friends with any females, first of all, you better figure that out before you get married, and if you're okay with that. Second of all, like I said, it's kind of a give and take, and you never know. I mean, the situation can change over the years. Some people might do things or say things, and somebody else might have a second thought about something. But I guess it's all up to the individuals, John. And it's really whatever you feel comfortable with. But Bridget, you said it. Don't settle. Don't get married to somebody just because, and then go, oh, well, wait a minute. They don't want me to be friends with the opposite sex? No, you got to figure that stuff out beforehand.
Right, but then, if you are hanging out with that person a lot, let's say in public, you also have to think about what is that putting out to people that might see you in public, and they don't ever see you with your husband, or they don't ever see you with your wife. They only see you with this best friend that is of the opposite sex. You have to think about what is that putting out, and what is that, what does that mean to your spouse? And that's not fair. So I don't know. There has to be everything in moderation. It's just like you're eating. It's just like everything in life.
I'll say this. I think I understand where some of them are coming from, because when you do have too many females around you, like Jeff said, there could be a possibility of someone maybe falling for you just as much as when the women have too many men around them, especially if you tell your business and somebody is like, oh, well, you're not happy? So I understand that. But the one thing I wanted to point out, it is 2014. You got to think that sometimes it might be some of the same-sex friends you got to worry about too nowadays, because you never know what floats a person's boat. And your wife might have a girlfriend sitting there like, oh, he ain't treating you right. Mm-hmm. And one of the fellas might be like, yeah, Jeff, she don't know how to treat you good. You know, you might. I'm just saying, keeping it 100 for everybody watching out there, it could happen that way as well. So watch your back, literally. Watch your feet, and just try to learn how to trust one another. Good news time.
Yeah, move on.
Good news time for sure. Oh, and I found, by the way, I found the quote. I just wanted to throw it at you. It's out of the book of John. If you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, don't boast and don't be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, casual, demonic, and that is where jealousy is found. And jealousy and selfish ambition exist. There will be disorder and every vile practice. So there it is right there. You know, it's like you can't have jealousy in your heart because that's not true love at all. Good news.
Yeah.
Good news is the good news is actually sad news for me. I don't know if either of you guys had seen this, but my daughter, first of all, I'll start with my daughter. My daughter is in her senior year of school. She just started applying to many colleges, and it looks like she'll probably start her or finish off her 2-year that she started here in Indian River. But she's looking at colleges much further away, and I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but my son is finishing up his 2-year at Indian River State College as well, and he just got accepted to the Disney College program, so he'll be living in Orlando for like 5 months. It's yeah, they're both good news, and it's personal, but at the same time, it's kind of sad because, I mean, you know, we're like one of those families that just, we really stick together and we really try to do things together, and it's just weird to think that in the next, you know, year, they could like all be gone.
Empty nest syndrome. Look out.
It's scary, and I don't know how to feel about it. It's weird.
You're that dad that shows up at the college campus on a day just being like, hey, just was in town and thought I'd stop by. Dad, I'm in California. You just stopped by California? Yeah. Where's mom at? She's at home. Here without mom. You're going to have sandals on with socks. It's going to be looking.
Oh, my gosh. Please, no. Or you and Andy can just think about a second honeymoon. Kids are out of the house, you know.
That's true. That's very true. And I'll be 100% honest. I'm not going to put on any fake faces here with wisecracks, but I will say this: if I do show up at college, if I will probably be the first one to do the keg stand. I'm just saying. I want to be the cool dad. So.
Okay, Bridget, we're gonna have to pray for him.
Yeah. You want to lead it? Dear Heavenly Father, please do not let Jeff drown during his keg stand. He should breathe through his nose.
I rebuke that.
John, put that against my forehead. There it is.
Probably burn what you just said.
I'm healed.
Sizzle, sizzle.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we are Wisecracks, and hopefully you enjoyed this edition. Please leave your comments, questions, concerns on the side, or there's also a Facebook page where you can make some comments, as some have. Bridget?
That is facebook.com/3Wisecracks.
Thanks for watching.